this suburban general with her web binder of residential regulations. "Mrs. Whitmore," he began, having done his homework, "I appreciate your dedication to community standards. However, these exercises are part of a joint training operation with local emergency services. We're here for exactly 72 hours. Karen's eyes narrowed. 72 hours of what exactly? Because I've already documented noise violations, unauthorized vehicle parking, and improper waste disposal. She flipped through her binder with military precision. Plus, your soldiers tracked mud onto our community sidewalk. We'll address the sidewalk, the colonel conceded, recognizing a tactical retreat when necessary. But Karen sensed weakness and pressed her advantage. You'll address everything, or this community will make the next 3 days very uncomfortable for your little camping trip. That afternoon, Karen's phone tree activated with devastating efficiency. Margaret organized a concerned residents' meeting in the community center. Bob calculated the property value impact of military occupation. Mrs. Henderson from the book club started researching noise ordinances and zoning laws. The soldiers, meanwhile, found themselves facing psychological warfare unlike anything in their training manuals. Every time they conducted drills, Karen appeared with a decibel meter. When they took meal breaks, she measured the distance between their tables and residential property lines. She even followed their morning jog with a golf cart, shouting violations through a megaphone. "Ma'am," Private Jenkins pleaded on day 2. "We're just trying to serve our country. And I'm serving my community." Karen shot back. "Your country doesn't live here. We do." But something shifted on the second evening when Karen overheard radio chatter from the command tent. The exercises weren't just routine training. They were preparing for a real emergency response situation that could affect the entire region. As she stood in her perfectly manicured garden, watching young soldiers practice procedures that might save lives, a tiny crack appeared in her armor of absolute certainty. For the first time in years, Karen Whitmore faced a conflict that couldn't be resolved with regulations and righteous indignation. The colonel emerged from his tent and approached her fence line. "Mrs. Whitmore, might I suggest a compromise?" Karen clutched her binder tighter, but her voice lacked its usual venom. "What kind of compromise?" "Walk with me tomorrow morning. Let me show you exactly what we're preparing for." As Karen stood there, the weight of her binder suddenly felt different in her hands. The evening breeze carried something she'd never heard before in her perfectly controlled neighborhood. The sound of young voices planning not disruption, but protection. Her answer would determine whether Maple Ridge Estates faced its first real test of community versus duty, and whether